Little progress with the laser rifle. I haven't really had a chance to do much to this just lately. As you can see, the barrel is now here, the tube arrived, and it was perfect, just what I wanted, and I've routed out a groove in the top to take it. So we'll close in and you can have a look at what else I've done. Yeah, so I've milled out some slots in the stock here, and the idea is that what will happen is that the little electronics board will go into there, and let's move that out of the way, and the battery pack will go into there like that. There'll be a plate over this to cover that up, and there'll be a matching plate on the other side so it doesn't look, you know, odd. I spent ages faffing around over the trigger. I come up with all sorts of complicated and ridiculous ways of doing it, and in the end I was overthinking it, and I basically just used the toggle switch. So the trigger, whoops, is just the toggle switch on a brass bracket, which I think will work fine for this, and that goes up in there like that. So that's your trigger. There are holes drilled so I can get the cables in. This is the laser, little laser thing, and that will go in the end of the barrel. I'll take you there. Yeah, this will fit in the end of the barrel. Now I'm not going to push it all the way in at the moment because it is quite a tight fit. I've purposely made it that way, and it will just sit in there nicely when it's, but it will go all the way in to about there, and then there'll be a couple of wires running from it, from this end all the way down. Let's come back out again. And turn it around. Yeah, so there'll be a couple of wires coming down the barrel. There's a little hole here, they will go through there, come out here into the electronics and attach there. There's also a hole drilled up between the milled out slot for the toggle switch here, which will also take wires into there, and then there's a little bit where the wires can go through there. So that will be the electronics, the electrics, and that all sorted out. But obviously there's still a lot more to do. I'm going to make a piece, I'll bring in so you can see easier. Yeah, at the moment obviously the barrel just comes to an end, but I'm going to use a bit of same diameter metal bar stock here and make a dummy breech effectively, which will go over here, and that will cover up the wires as they come out the end of the barrel, and they go down through this hole and into the electrics. That will just screw down to the top there. Yeah, it's coming together. Obviously I've got a lot of work to do on the stock. I've got to finish the stock off, round it all off. It's going to get dyed. I'll probably dye it worn up and then finishing oil on top of that to finish it all off. The barrel here and the dummy breech block will have to be blued. So yes, there's still an awful lot to do with it. As always with my projects, I always think they're going to take a lot less time and be a lot less work than they actually turn out to be. But I'm enjoying doing this one, and it's going to be great fun with the Tin Can Alley game, you know, once it's done. Obviously the other thing is I'm going to probably put some sights on it, which I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do that yet, but yeah, it's coming along. The laser rifle is ready for final assembly. I just spent the morning making the last two parts, which were these are brass plates. The white is simply a protective film on the brass, which I haven't taken off yet. But basically you only really need one, and that's going to go over there like that, and that will hold the battery box and electronics in place. But I wanted a matching one on the other side, so I've done two. That's cut out for the switch, the on and off switch for the battery box. So we're pretty much there. All I've got to do is twist up some long wires to fit to the laser, obviously, because they've got to come down the barrel and into the where the electronics are. Wire up the switch, and we should be good to go. So yeah, what else? Oh, there's a couple more holes still. Yeah, obviously there's got to be a couple of fixing holes drilled for screws for that, and for the dummy breech block in the top. There'll be a couple of screws down into the wood, but it's pretty much done. So I'll get it put together. Well, it's done. I thought you might like to have a look at it before I put the side plates on. Let me show you. Just close in on the middle part there. It all went together quite well. I'm quite pleased with how it all turned out, and I'll show you it working in a minute. But yeah, it's come out quite well. So here it is with the side plates on. There is an identical side plate on the other side. That just keeps the electronics all in place and tidies it up quite nicely. So let's see it working. So if you watch here on this piece of wood, I'll press the trigger and you can see what happens. And it doesn't matter how long I hold the trigger for, it just pulses the laser for a couple of seconds and then switches off. So yeah, it's all done. As usual with all these projects, they always turn out to take an awful lot longer than you originally thought they would. But yeah, I think it's turned out okay, and it should be all right. I've really, all that's left now is to actually, I've got to work out a way of filming this so you can see it in action. So let me leave that with me, and I'll try and come up with a way of doing it. But yeah, it's okay. It turned out all right. This is just to give you some idea of the distance involved. Now I've got the camera on tripod from the point where I'll be shooting at the Tin Can Alley game. It's about 8 meters away. So I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see where we're actually shooting at. And there we are, there it is. Now I'll reposition the camera closer so that it's looking at the cans and the game part itself, and then we'll do some shooting. Okay, so we're in position now, and hopefully the camera will pick up the laser as it strikes the target with a bit of luck. Well, that worked okay, but as you can see, the targeting's a bit off. I'm having an awful lot of trouble getting the laser to actually shoot straight out of the barrel of the gun, and the problem with that is it's the laser. It's nothing to do with the gun. The laser pointer doesn't actually shoot the laser directly out of the front. It's off at an angle, so I've got to compensate and everything. But I've got a new laser coming for it, which I'm hoping will be a lot better. But anyway, you get the idea, and it's a lot of fun. Might have to tweak the CR time on the pulse because the laser stays on, I think, too long. It really needs to be a shorter pulse than that. But yeah, loads of fun. Well, I think that about wraps it up for the old Tin Can Alley kids shooting game. Dragged into the 21st century with the addition of a laser rifle. And it is great fun. Like I said, needs a few mods. I'm going to have to change the laser out for one which I can actually get to point straight. But other than that, it works, and it works really well. As I said, that was 8 meters that I was shooting over, and I don't think the original light guns would have been able to function over that distance at all. So yeah, can have a lot of fun with this. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this videos on the Tin Can Alley game. As always, thanks for watching. Cheers. Well, as you probably gathered, that was supposed to be the end of the video. But the new laser I ordered for it turned up today. I just finished editing this video actually, but the laser turned up. I thought, right, I'll machine up a part. I needed to machine up a part so that it would fit into the end of the barrel. I've done that, and it is 100 times better than the laser that I had in there. I'll flash a quick screenshot. I got it from Amazon. It was only £12. But this one is just absolutely brilliant. And look at the difference in the dot, the size of the dot, when I use this one. Totally different, and of course it lines up perfectly with the sights, so there's no having to compensate for or anything. But so yeah, just a little bit of an epilogue, and this really is the end of the video. Cheers.